Hello. Okay. No, this. Hey, everyone. My name is Horacio. Just a quick question. Who's a designer here? Is there any? Oh, a lot less than I expected. Who's a developer that knows a little bit about design? Is there? Oh, that's super cool. Okay, so maybe this is really appealing to you. So yeah, I'm Horacio. I'm a digital designer actually. I'm a self-taught developer, and also I'm a coach in the React.js Academy. And I actually worked for the last 5-7 years in this bridge between design and development. So I think design systems is something that will help us to become better and faster developers and create better products. So I think that designers and developers need a common language to work together, because sometimes we speak like different languages and we use different things and jargon. So I think design systems will help with just bridging or making these two worlds more become more one thing. So a design system, for the people that don't know, but that maybe you all know what it is just a set of constraints and rules that are being defined into a UI library. So sometimes, and most common, you see a UI library that is following a design system. And design system is not only that, it's the UI library, it's also branding, it's also like all this composition rules, everything that we as a developers and designers use in order to follow these constraints that we set in a product. So the benefits, I'm here not about how you build a design system, because I think you can find that pretty quickly, but more into the why and why I think it's important. So this is like the result of using a design system in place. Like you can actually iterate in a product more like in a much faster way if you don't have a design system. It helps you to make also some tests and help to do A/B testing and do all this crazy stuff that also UX developers really like and product managers really like. So it's just help you to make more consistent work, not only in your code, but also in your design. And that always is good. So my conclusion is that design and development together, it's all about empathy. And designers that doesn't know how to code and developers that doesn't know how to design they need to be a little bit more open into the other world, because that will help them a lot more. And you'll see, when you start learning about the other part, you'll see that it's really like common and really similar what you're trying to solve, designing and develop and doing development. So yeah, I really encourage, like, if you can just try to learn a little bit more about that, like the other part, that will be great for not for you only, but for the team also. And also, I have a little story, because I was working for a client called Link.js, and they have this really good UX designer, product designer, and his name is Paul. This is a real life story. The goal was to teach Paul, because he knew CSS. We were using style components. Who knows? Yeah, style components. You know what it is. So the goal was to teach him how to build UI primitives for our design system by himself, using React and style components. And eventually he will be doing commits and just making him more willing to. What happened? Well, I'm gonna continue. So just to make sure that the Paul's background was he's a UX developer. He just knows CSS, and he didn't know any JavaScript, anything about development, no Git, not at all. So the output of this experiment was that he, just to seeing these style components, how CSS and everything works. So the outcome was that now Paul, he's still struggling about development, because he just gets really overwhelmed about those things. But he's able to actually commit and do work in the design system and just be independent from us. And that's super powerful. And not only just because he can just code in the product, but also that he can understand how everything is being built, how his design, how whatever he's creating in paper, in Sketch, or whatever tool that he was using, how that comes into actual component. So that's pretty important for a designer and also a developer to understand these little constraints, these little rules in order to make better products. So yeah, we need to just work, just embrace the other developer and designers, and that's my take on that. Thanks, and yeah, so thank you.